About that it's good to find our own power and our own strength, but in the other hand, it's sometimes also good to maybe follow and be open for advice and in a way also being humble and receive from masters or teachers or angels or anything, to receive their wisdom. Do you think it's because it's like a very thin line of not giving yourself away and being dependent on someone else, and at the same time also just be open and humble enough to,
Yeah, but the two things are not in conflict with each other. I can be very strong in my sense of independency, but I can also be humble and welcome informations from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
The two things can be played simultaneously with no problem.
Yeah.
Being independent is not being humble. It's not arrogance. It's just trusting 100% the truth is within yourself, in your heart and in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then by doing that, you will attract outside circumstances that can be very valuable.
Yeah.
And you might attract a wonderful guru or angel or saint that point you towards the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't lost your identity and you become dependent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just follow and you do what you lose your sense of discernment and your self empowerment, and now your life depends on what your guru tells you. Or whatever situation tells you. That is an experience too, there is nothing wrong with that, but you are entering a deeper level of separation where you feel that there is a situation that is better than you, bigger than you, and knows more than you. And yeah, sure, it might be, but it's basically whatever comes to you is something that gives you the permission to be what you already are. It's like a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And if you operate at that level, you allow that to happen at that level, it's all well and good. Well, if you pass the triggering point and now you become a servant and you are becoming a follower and you are completely lost, and everything you do it only if your guru tells you that you can do it or not, or your psychotherapist, or your religious, or your politician, or whatever it is that you choose. Now you are not. You are given the power of the decisions and the way you give the power to somebody else to decide for you. So it's all well and good that you receive information for as long as just a trigger, and they yes, they point it out to the better direction, and it's good, but then you will have to reconnect with yourself and take charge, because I don't think we are here to be followers. We are here to master our I would say sovereignty, our
But therefore, they say if you want to master that, then before doing that, you have to also be humble and open and follow sometimes.
yes,
Right.
yeah,
For example, there are people, they really bow down on the floor on their knees and bow down before a master, or even even in a temple for statues, and so for them it's really important to practice humbleness, so that they can become or master this.
And if the master to whom they bow down is really a master, he will bow down to them too.
Yeah.
Because he will recognize that anything that is better or different is an illusion. We are all masters, and so we want to experience to bow down each other. Okay, who is going to start? You want to do it first, or I do it first? Okay, and you bow, and then I bow, and we do it simultaneously, and then we will be happy. And now we can get going into the business.
Yeah, but that is usually not what happens, right? And I experienced one time that everyone in the whole room was like bowing down for this master, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they said to me, yeah, you have a big ego,
Yeah.
because I didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, it's just an agreement. They decide that they want to experience a level of feeling not good enough, feeling inferior, and so they are living their playing that experience that they have chosen, and so they agree that they gather in this room, and when this person enter, they all feel inferior, they all bow, and then they follow him, and it's a valid experience. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to do that, by all means, just do it. It's okay. And the guy that is being bowed to is having also experience of feeling superior, or feeling better than other people. So it seems like they are using their ego. One group is using the ego to feel less than, and the other one is using the ego to feel more than. Because again, if the people are really in their power, they will not feel inferior. So they may bow as a sign of appreciation, as a sign of respect, and then the master, and we are all masters, will do the same, right? And then it will be just a way of saluting and honoring each other. And then I bow to you, you bow to me, and that's wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. When we bow because we feel that we are little and insignificant, then we are having an experience in separation, and it's a wonderful experience. And if you need to do that, by all means, experience that. Some people experience that for many lifetimes. For many lifetimes, they passed all their life feeling less than, and feeling less than, and following, feeling less and following. until they eventually they get to a point where they think they are done with the experience, and then now they go back um, to be in their power, and now they appreciate more to be in their power because they experience in depth the idea of not the illusion of the not being in power.
Yeah.
So it's nothing wrong, it's just a choice, and I don't think we need to have a negative judgment. It's just fascinating for me to see that. Oh, it's interesting. These people decided that they're inferior, that one decided they're superior, and the superior is telling them that before they get superior, they need to graduate to this, and then they have to do this, and they have to do this, and so they create an hierarchy of things that they need to accomplish before they are the masters. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong. It's just another way to get wherever you need to go. Or you can stand up right away and say, I'm the master, and I'm going to express my mastering just by tuning in my heart and really do whatever I can to connect with my inner core.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the voice of the guru will help me to do that. Or maybe I don't feel like I have to experience that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that once we will be fully in a state of self-empowerment and self-love and sovereignty, there will be no possibility for the matrix to sustain itself, because nobody will fall in the trap of scarcity, separation, and all those controlling mechanisms that has created a prison of this experience. At that time, there will be no more gurus. There will be no more. Nothing like that. There will be just the joy of creating and dancing freely,
Mm-hmm.
and experiencing whatever we need to experience from a state of joy and not from a state of self disempowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if a guru or whatever figure is really genuine, he will not create that situation where he is put in a pedestal, and he will probably operate from a place where his doing and his words will sponsor, will validate the idea of being enough, of being masters, of being ready, rather than sponsoring the idea that you need to come to me and do what it will take so that you can become what I am, you know.
Yeah. Mm.
But again, I don't see anything bad in that. It's just eventually we will rise to a level of consciousness where we don't need to play those games anymore.
Mm.
And there is going to be much more fun to be here then.